Hello, guys. So, today I wanted to talk about the Peacock original series Angelyne, and I just finished watching this series earlier today, so that's why I want to talk about it and just other topics that came to mind when I was watching this and when I finished watching it. Um, I guess like overall, what I would like to express is like my feelings on biopics, especially with recently I've been watching The Staircase, and um, I know they did one on Pam called Pam and Tommy, and then they had another one called The Holdout or something on Hulu, and then as well as all of the Marilyn Monroe projects that are constantly being released on like everything. So yeah, that's what brought me here. And then also thinking about Kim Kardashian wearing her dress to the Met Gala and just how, the way that these women are treated in Hollywood, like these kind of icons. They're just, they're, respected in other fields as well, but they're also like really iconic and fashionable and all this kind of stuff. So I also just found it interesting because Emmy Rossum stars as Angelyne in this series, and I'm not sure. Does anybody know if she played the older version of Angelyne? I wasn't really sure. I was trying to figure it out, but I was like, at some point, I was like, okay, maybe that's just her with a lot of prosthetics on. And I know a lot of people I've been seeing on Twitter um, argue for roles where heavy prosthetics are needed. Like, why not just hire an actor or an actress that fits the physical description, you know? So, yeah, I was kind of thinking that because I feel as though the chest prosthetics were just really obvious and really bizarre looking. I don't know. Anyways, that was something that was really difficult to get over while watching the series. And I didn't know anything about Angelina, and I still don't know much about her. But I searched her while I was watching it, and like she did not look like, I don't know, like her chest didn't look like that. So it was really interesting. Um, Emmy Rossum, everybody's rooting for her. I feel like because she left Shameless when she was just tired of the pay. I believe she wasn't getting paid as much as William Macy, if I'm correct, and he stood up for her, and I think they back paid her, and then they offered to pay her his rate, but she decided to leave anyways. And I don't know why, but some people say she was probably just, the show had been going on for so long at that point, and maybe she wanted to attach her name to something else, and then also was probably awkward, maybe, who knows, maybe she has a great relationship with whomever on the show, but either way, she moved on. And there's always that curse, it feels like, when actors, especially lead actors and actresses, leave shows, um, and they're like, well, I'm gonna leave this show because I'm gonna go and do this thing, and it's always supposed to be something better, but rarely does it ever actually pan out to something better. For example, and like no shade, but just throwing out examples, like Nina Dobrev leaving the Vampire Diaries. I feel like that was really huge. Like, I understand what she did, why she did what she wanted to do, and maybe she just wanted to live her life a little bit. But like, she hasn't really been in much, but she's starting to pick up her acting now, I've seen. So I find that really interesting and good for her. She's still young, so you know, yeah. And then on top of that, the guy that played Simon in Bridgerton leaving after season one, even though the rest of the seasons wouldn't have really focused too much, or shouldn't have really focused too much on Daphne and Simon at that point, but nonetheless, he decided to leave, and we still have yet to really see what he's going to do. It's still pretty early, I think, but, and then the latest one I've heard was the actor from Sabrina, Chaos, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, who played her second boyfriend, Nick, maybe? I don't remember. My mind has like repressed that show because I used to love the first season, like the first 2 seasons or so, and then the last season was just insane. I was like, okay, but he played on the Sex Lives of College Girls. He plays Kimberly's love interest, and apparently he's leaving the show now to pursue music. So all very interesting. Anyways, Emmy Rossum left, and now here she is in Angelyne for the first time. I'm gonna be quite honest, I don't think I would have watched this show if Emmy Rossum wasn't in it. So, yeah, I was trying to picture myself. I was like, or maybe even somebody that I didn't know. And also, like, the guy from The Hobbit's in it. And I was like, what? And Luke Cage, who's from Euphoria. And the guy from Sky High. So, I think the cast was like actually good. They did a good job acting. Okay. This is where I'm gonna get into the show. My liked and did not like. About the actual show itself, and then just about biopics in general. And so the show itself, I stopped watching multiple times. And I was like, I'm gonna finish it because I have this thing where once I start shows, I really try my best to finish them, no matter how bad they are. Unless they're really, really bad, I will not finish them. I mean, I will finish them. So I was like, let me finish this. Maybe there's just like some huge payoff at the end. It was only 5 episodes too, so I was like, this isn't too much of a commitment. And I think Emmy Rossum does a great job acting. I feel like they were trying to go for like an Academy Award here. And I don't know, like she might get nominated. I don't know. Like I think she did a great job acting, but this show was interesting to say the least. One, I think it should have took the format that was similar to The Queen's Gambit, where we got flashbacks intertwined with current day stuff. Because once we got to the last episode when they were doing the flashbacks and stuff, and kind of like more trippy aspects were kind of like alluding to her mental state and just how she completely forgets her past and just is Angelyne. I feel like that should have been intertwined into the series more. So it was only 5 episodes. I mean, the show, the first couple of episodes are so... I don't know how to describe them because at times it feels like, oh, this is like, it's trying to be really serious. And then other times it's like, it doesn't really care. It's not trying to be serious. This is just like a joke. And then, I don't know, the show is weird. The pacing's weird. I feel like there's too much of us spending time with Angelyne, like, in the present day and her always thinking she's Angelyne. I don't know how to describe that further, but we should have gotten flashbacks to her childhood more throughout the show. But that being said, maybe they didn't have that much to work with because nobody seems to know that much about her. She did sign the rights of her life away to the series, I believe. Gave them permission to the rights in the beginning. Then she like came back out later once the show aired saying that it just does not depict her life properly. So yeah, that was really interesting. And then I don't know, I'm always gonna be that person that if the person whose life it's based off of is like no, then I'm sorry, it's gonna be a no for me as well. As much as I want to love this and I want to love Emmy Rossum, and Angelyne is kind of like similar to Marilyn Monroe, and I think she's obviously one of her inspirations, and Barbie as well. But she's similar to her in the sense that Um, I think she was like Jewish Polish. If the show said that, and Marilyn is Jewish, and I don't know too much about Marilyn's childhood, but I know that her mother was schizophrenic, and it looks like here, based off of what the show is saying, Angelyne grew up, you know, and had some hardships in her childhood as well. And then they both grow up to take on these personas. I think, and honestly, like, I can't even, it's so weird to say I think, because nobody knew who probably both of these women are, and nobody ever will. And I think also that's the way they wanted it. So, um, they both had these personas, and but it was very much still their who they were as well. So I found that to be really interesting. And then, yeah, the way the media treated them. And then you have this line in the show where Angeline actually goes to Hugh Hefner and talks about how he bought Marilyn's first ever like pinup photo, and basically made millions of dollars off of it and didn't give her any of the money. And it was just really ironic because it's like you're saying all of this, but the woman who you made this series about doesn't even like your series. And I don't know, I just can't see her coming out at the end all of a sudden and being like I don't like this. She could have had been saying stuff all along, right? Who knows? And it's sad because, you know, Emmy Rossum talking about like the gender pay gap in Hollywood, and you can kind of tell that this is a character that she's very passionate about, because she gives just way more than the writing allows. Like she goes over the top, because the writing, it's like okay, but her acting is so amazing. So you can tell she's very passionate about the character, or Angeline herself, and I believe Emmy Rossum is Jewish as well. So yeah, I feel like this is like a passion project of hers, if you must. And that's great, but not at the like expense of, you know, other people, especially women, when you're trying to make like an important message about women in Hollywood. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see what comes out, if Emmy Rossum will make a statement about this, or if she's just gonna try to like get her Grammy. I mean, I said Grammy. Get her Academy Award for this, Emmy, or whatever, Oscar, whatever it is that they get for TV shows. Um, I I don't really know what else to say. I suppose I can't wait to see what she's in next. Like I said, I feel like the show could have. We always get about picks that people don't necessarily agree with, but I feel like the show could have been better if what happened in the last episode, and at the very last second, we're kind of like broke the fourth wall or whatever. I don't know if I like that or not. I was like, okay, okay. Like, I get it. Like, it was trying to give like a marriage story moment, but then like it was really goofy still. So I was like, this show's like so unserious. It could have legitimately broke the fourth wall, and then had her walking off a set and like maybe taking off her, giving like a Hannah Montana wig snatch or something. But no, it was like really goofy, and I was like, okay. The show, I just don't know if it knew what it wanted to be, really. I think it wanted to be a lot of, like, I don't know if it, I don't think it missed the mark, but at the same time, I still enjoyed it to some extent. Is that weird to say? So, I don't know. I feel like if even if like the prosthetics were better, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Because then I would have been like, oh well, like these prosthetics are great. But then there was times where it just looked really weird. Like even the wig that she wore for it looked really just meh. And then you search the girl, and like her hair didn't look like that. Like it was blonde, but it wasn't like stiff like that. So I don't know. It was just certain things. It was an interesting show, I suppose. And I also think it's interesting for it to be on Peacock. And I would assume that this is going to be like a pull for them, maybe. I don't know how popular Emmy Rossum is. I don't know what else they have going on Peacock. I'm waiting for the Vampire Academy. But as the reviews are rolling in, it doesn't seem good. But I looked up the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and people seem to be like, like there's a neutral consensus. Like people are like, okay, great. Mostly the praises for Emmy Rossum. So that's why I was like, I feel like she's gonna try to get an Academy Award with this. So I guess this is a new thing where, because Austin Butler is doing the same thing, where these actors are gonna do these biopics and they are like, I want my Academy Award. I don't care. Like, I'm leaving here with something, basically. Um, it was okay. At least at the end of the day, I think one thing the show did get correct was I don't even know if it got it correct though, because at the end it was like, it doesn't matter about all of this because she's just Angelyne. But it does that because it's a biopic. That's the whole point. You want to show like the girl behind it, right? Like it didn't make sense. It was trying to. It seemed like it was trying to be. I don't know. It's like just be a biopic or not. And then of course things were dramatized, and I feel like that's problematic because it's people's lives. Like and people just and you're like I get it. You're passionate about this person or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's still a human being. Like it's not like a character from a story that's made up. And like I get it. You look up to Marilyn Monroe. You look up to whomever. But when you start to add these fictional elements that can be harmful, and that's why you see them do a lot when these people are dead. But Angelina is alive, and so is Pam, and they're like, no, no, ma'am. Mm-mm. And it just goes to show, it makes me just think about like, how it affects the actual people. And is that worth it at the end of the day? And at that point, and this always also makes me think of shows like The Great, where they're just like, this is not even, we're not even going to say that it's a biopic. We're just going to say this is loosely based off of this. And that's all. And I think a lot of them need to take that kind of direction with these shows and movies. And like Dickinson as well. These kind of like almost mockumentary kind of forms of biopics or whatever you want to call it. Period dramas, whatever. They should do that because when you're trying to sell yourself something that's like so authentic and these are all the facts and all this and it's not and a lot of it is dramatized, it's just like at that point you might as well just be real with what you are. I don't know. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Angelyne. Like maybe it could have been like a fictional series and her name not have been Angelyne. It could have been like something else. I really don't know, but it's just like all ironic, right? Because Emmy probably loves Angelyne. She is a like woman who's kind of scorned by Hollywood as well. They're both Jewish women, and she probably feels like maybe she figured her out a little bit, And once again, that reminds me of Maryland, how all these people like run with these stories from these conversations that they have with these women, but these women don't want their, I don't even like to say personas or veils to be dropped, but whatever you're trying to get from them, like they're not trying to give it. So just stop and let them rest in peace and keep their who they were. Like they worked so hard to create those images, you know. And if you're gonna do like a biography type of thing with it, why are you still keeping that image of that person in it? That kind of glorified deity image that you have of them, you know? So, yeah, I guess that was like my issue with the series. Yes, I guess I watched it, like, yeah, but yeah, that's it. I can't wait to see what Emmy Rossum is in next. Let's see if she makes a statement about this at all. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of side-eyeing people that do these type of projects now. But I will be watching the Owl project that Daniel Radcliffe is in, because that one actually looks good. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if you've watched Angelyne. You could, I'm not like, this isn't me promoting it, so I mean, it's something. I'm ready for the Vampire Academy. I know I said that already, but yeah, let me know if you saw it, what you thought of it, and what you think about biopics, and what you think about Angelyne, the character. I mean, the woman herself, like, because there was times when, you know, the show portrays her as, like, complicated, which they always do that for these women. Like, people always say that about Marilyn, like, they're always pointing out that she showed up to film sets late and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, didn't she have substance abuse issues and mental health issues? Anyways, same thing with, like, Amy Winehouse. People are always like, oh, they were so complicated. And, like, I get it. It's annoying when you want to work and get work done. But the show definitely made her seem like she was complicated. So, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that she retracted her blessing for it, I was like, is this because she's, like, complicated or whatever? Like, you know, and that rubbed me the wrong way as well, too, because I'm like, no, I want to side with her and how she wants her story to be told. So, yeah, those are my final thoughts. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.